Discipline is not doing it when you feel strong. Discipline is not showing up when energy is high and everything feels aligned. Discipline is doing it when you're tired, when your body is slow, when your mind is heavy, when excuses sound logical and comfort feels earned. That is the difference between people who talk about endurance and people who build it. Most people stop when fatigue appears. They treat tiredness as a signal to slow down, to delay, to wait. That is weakness disguised as self-care. Tiredness is not a stop sign. It is a test. And every time you stop because you're tired, you train your nervous system to quit under pressure. Your life does not collapse because of one big failure. It collapses because of thousands of small moments where you chose rest over responsibility. You chose comfort over consistency. You chose how you felt over what needed to be done. Those moments compound. They build a pattern, and that pattern becomes your identity. You don't lack talent. You don't lack intelligence. You lack endurance. Endurance is the ability to continue when motivation is gone and energy is low. Endurance is built, not felt, and it is built in the exact moments you've been avoiding. Tiredness is normal. Everyone feels it. Winners don't negotiate with it. They move anyway. They lower the emotion, not the standard. They don't ask for permission from their feelings. They execute because execution is the rule. If your discipline depends on how you feel, it is not discipline. It is convenience. Real discipline does not adjust to mood. It adjusts the mood to the mission. That is a higher standard of operation. Most people wait to feel ready again. They wait to feel energized. They wait to feel inspired. While they wait, momentum dies. Consistency breaks. And starting again becomes harder. Discipline, when tired, prevents restarts. It keeps the engine running even at low speed. Low energy days are where progress is protected. High energy days are easy. Anyone can perform when they feel good. Low energy days reveal who you really are. They expose your standards. They expose your discipline. They expose whether you were serious or just excited. Your excuses sound smarter when you're tired. Your mind becomes creative at justifying delay. It tells you you've earned rest. It tells you tomorrow will be better. It tells you skipping once doesn't matter. Those thoughts are not wisdom. They are weakness, looking for comfort. Endurance is choosing to do less, but still do something. It is choosing to show up at a lower capacity instead of disappearing completely. Zero effort destroys momentum. Imperfect effort protects it. Discipline when tired is not about being extreme. It is about being reliable. Reliable to yourself. Reliable to your standards. Reliable to your standards. Reliable to the identity you are building. Reliability compounds faster than intensity ever will. Most people sabotage themselves by being inconsistent. They go hard, then disappear. They push, then rest too long. They sprint, then quit. Endurance smooths that cycle. It removes the spikes. It creates steady forward motion. You don't need to be sharp every day. You need to be present every day. Presence builds rhythm. Rhythm builds consistency. Consistency builds trust with yourself. And once you trust yourself, discipline becomes automatic. When you quit because you're tired, you teach yourself that fatigue controls you. When you continue, despite being tired, you teach yourself that standards control you. One creates weakness, the other creates strength. Your body adapts to what you demand of it. Your mind adapts to what you allow. If you allow tiredness to stop you, tiredness will get stronger. If you demand action despite tiredness, endurance grows. This is not about ignoring your limits. It is about expanding them. Limits grow when challenged, not when protected. Comfort shrinks capacity. Pressure expands it. Most people confuse recovery with avoidance. Real recovery is planned. Avoidance is emotional. If you rest every time you feel tired, you are not recovering. You are retreating. There is a difference between being exhausted and being uncomfortable. Most people quit at discomfort and call it exhaustion. That lie costs them progress. Discipline is respecting the work even when energy is low. It is doing the boring parts without applause. It is staying consistent when no one is watching and nothing feels exciting. Endurance is built in silence. No one celebrates it. No one posts about it. No one notices it in the moment. But it shows up in results later. It shows up in confidence. It shows up in control. If you want a strong mind, train it when it wants to stop. If you want a strong body, move it when it wants to rest. If you want a strong life, build it when motivation disappears. You don't need to win the day. You need to refuse to lose it. Losing the day happens when you do nothing. Winning the day can be as simple as not quitting. Standards matter most when you're tired. That is when they are tested. Anyone can claim high standards. Few can maintain them under fatigue. Your future is built on tired days, not perfect ones. Perfect days are rare. Tired days are frequent. If you can't perform on tired days, your progress will always be fragile. Endurance is choosing discipline over drama. Overthinking increases when energy drops. Action cuts through it. Movement clears the mind faster than rest ever will. Most people look for balance. Winners look for reliability. Balance changes daily. Reliability does not. Reliability does not. Reliability means you show up regardless. You don't need more rest days. You need more disciplined days. Plan. Add rest supports endurance. Emotional rest destroys it. The more you train discipline while tired, the less tired you feel over time. Because your system adapts, your tolerance rises, your standards harden. Weak standards require high motivation. Strong standards don't. They operate automatically. That is the goal, to remove dependency on feeling good. You are not special for being tired. Everyone is tired. The difference is what you do next. Do you lower the standard, or do you lower the emotion and execute anyway? Discipline is a muscle. It grows under resistance. Fatigue is resistance. I avoid it, and the muscle shrinks. Use it, and the muscle grows. You don't need to push harder. You need to quit less. Quitting drains more energy than continuing. Restarting costs more than sustaining. Endurance is staying in the game, not dominating every moment, not being perfect, just staying in the game when others step out. Your standards should not drop with your energy. They should protect your progress when energy drops. That is what standards are for. If you only perform when conditions are ideal, you will always be dependent on conditions. Endurance breaks that dependency. This is where most people give themselves permission to stop. And this is exactly where you don't. Not because it feels good, not because it's easy, but because this moment is building something deeper. And if you can hold discipline here, when you're tired, when you're slow, when everything inside you wants relief, then you are no longer building habits. You are building endurance, and endurance changes everything.